What does a year after the Mandela Fellowship look like for me? Well, I will tell you. After learning what it truly means to be a civic leader at Michigan State University, thanks to all the amazing professors and friends I met there, I decided to find ways to implement what I learned. First, I was selected for a professional development experience after my fellowship with Plan International Washington, D.C., where I collaborated with fundraising team, the people and development team, and leaders in Plan International Zimbabwe on a project targeting school-aged girls in rural Zimbabwe. Of course, I had time to also explore the amazing and beautiful and historic Washington, D.C. area with my colleague Muna from South Sudan and my friend Sibonisi from South Africa, who also did his PD, by the way, in the office of Senator Coons. I also had just enough time to work with other fellows across the world in the DC area. Before I left Washington, DC, I was selected to be the only Nigerian Mandela Washington Fellow to meet with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken for a private dinner on his return from DRC, Rwanda, and I think South Africa. Now, after that meeting and networking section with over 20 Africans in diaspora, I founded what is called the Community Today Initiative to create the impact or the bridge between professionals in Africa and young Africans. Now, back home in my country, I decided to focus more on taking young people out of poverty. The learning and work experiences I had in the United States solidified this resolve. Before I left to the US, I had worked in over 26 states in Nigeria as a child protection and development officer. In my last appointment, we initiated the first rural children-centered fashion show to draw attention to the challenges of children in most migrant and riverine communities in south of Nigeria. We also initiated the first children-centered webinar during COVID, which brought Nigeria's finest child specialists together to address the problem of child abuse during COVID. Despite the thousands of dollars we got in funding for a children parliament, a poultry farm for rural women, a safe water project for riverine communities, and education of over 70 children in our care, and so on, so many of them, there was still a lot of work to be done. In fact, I was at the verge of beginning my work as a stakeholder consultant for the School Farm for School Meals project in Akwa Ibom State when I left for the US to learn more about how to scale my work in civic engagement in Africa. So after the fellowship, I have gone ahead to speak to thousands of young people on radio like Hit FM in Calabar about the need to seek meaning in their lives and aim for skills. I was also at the Ministry of Women's Affairs in Calabar, courtesy of Nana Arts, my friend who owns the initiative, to speak about youth and women to take care of their mental health and get empowered in the process. Now, as a vice president of Anti-Suicide Global Initiative, I decided to initiate and work with a team to bring about the first ever emotional support for members of the Civil Defense Corps in Buhari Area Council in Abuja, Nigeria. I was also a guest at Let's Speak Africa, where I talked about the importance of youthful values. You see, the knowledge I have of my communities and the experience I have working in these communities got me appointed to be the African Research Counselor at the Weller Institute at London Business School in the UK. As a co-founder of the Health Consultants and Techies, we have been able to reach over 16,000 young Africans and recent professionals by introducing them to our mentorship sections, our career transition sections, our EdTech services, and our community development initiatives. For example, I recently a panelist at the AfriLib Academy's Artificial Intelligence Challenge, where I had access to actually work with young students to implement their projects. We are blessed to see more African residents in more than 5 countries, including Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, the UK, trust our services and initiatives. The reviews are awesome, and it shows that we have been able to touch the lives of young people since inception because of our good work. Our impact in years to come will be felt, not just in the rural and migrant and riverine communities, but also in hundreds of communities where hope seems blind and poverty is a sad companion. It is my strongest belief that Africa will never grow past the strengths of its education and youth. This is why we must never forget to empower the growing population of young people on the continent, else we will become so very afraid to grow old, and we don't want to see that happen. I am doing my very best part, and I hope that you join me to reach even more communities. So, dear young person, if you are looking for an opportunity to experience some top US universities with focus on civic engagement, public management, and business, then please consider applying to become a Mandela Washington Fellow. The Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders is a program of the U.S. Department of State with funding provided by the U.S. government and administered by IREX. I was in their office in Washington, D.C., by the way. Beautiful people, amazing people. It was established, this fellowship, in 2014. And this fellowship has brought nearly 6,500 young Africans from every country in sub-Saharan Africa to the United States for academic and leadership training. And fellows have been between the ages of 25 and 35. And these are innovators and professionals and young people in their communities or countries. I know that there are a lot more exchange programs, but becoming a Mandela Washington Fellow is absolutely one of the best experiences that came to my way, and I am forever grateful, and I will keep paying it forward. Thank you.